Mr. Chairman and esteemed colleagues, as chair of the Senate Committee on Sports and an avid basketball fan, it is my honor to advocate for the bill granting Philippine citizenship to Justin Brownlee. I recently co-authored the measure filed by Senator Bato de la Rosa to signify my full support for Mr. Justin Brownlee. Mr. Chair, in 2016, Mr. Brownlee came to the Philippines with one thing in mind: to play basketball. He initially joined the Philippine Basketball Association competitions as a replacement import. He then showcased his talents, which helped Barangay Ginebra claim its first PBA championship in 8 years. Since then, he has assisted and led his team achieve five PBA championships in 2016, 17, 2018, 2019, and 2021. His incredible skills in the court has garnered him admiration from his coaches, teammates, and basketball fans. Barangay Ginebra coach Tim Cone was quoted saying, parati po sila naglalaban ng Meralco, Ginebra and Meralco, that the difference between Ginebra and its rival Meralco is that Ginebra has Justin Brownlee. And that's the bottom line. Even so, Mr. Brownlee did not take too much credit and just prided himself to just being there for his team. Despite suffering from an injury last year, Justin Brownlee managed to make history by claiming the fifth spot on the all-time import scoring list. This shows his dedication to the sport and his commitment to his team. Justin Brownlee was named Best Import twice, first in the 2018 PBA Commissioner's Cup and second in the 2021 PBA Governor's Cup. Kaya naman habang tumatagal, mas nagiging deserving siya na ma-naturalize. Nakaka-blend siya sa basketball team natin. Alam naman natin na napaka-importante po na nakaka-blend ka sa teammates mo para manalo. With his decorated career, I have no doubts that Justin Brownlee will immensely help Gilas Pilipinas in the FIBA Basketball World Cup next year. Madalas po akong nanonood ng PBA at masasabi ko po na talagang malaki ang magiging contribution ni Justin Brownlee sa ating national team. Ayan po, nanood kami ng aming chairman dito. Ayan o, si Senator Tol. Just recently, Justin, we watch PBA game. Ayan o, si Tol. Tol o, bilisan mo yung approval na o. Nandiyan siya sa tabi mo. Mr. Chairman. Anyway, it has been 6 years since Justin Brownlee first played in the PBA. He has proven himself not only through his outstanding performance and decorated career, but also his love for Filipinos and our culture and traditions. Si Brownlee may pusong Pinoy at never say die attitude. Kaya napamahal na siya sa mga Pilipino at alam ko rin na napamahal na rin po ang mga Pilipino sa kanya, vice versa. Ito po ang pinaka-importante and higit sa talento sa basketball, ipinapakita niya po ang kanyang puso na lumaban para sa Pilipino at ang pagmamahal niya po sa ating bayan. Napaka-importante po yun, lalong-lalo na po sa ating FIBA World hosting next year po. In granting Mr. Justin Brownlee Philippine citizenship, we will definitely bolster our country's chances in several upcoming basketball tournaments. But beyond that, we would gain a new brother that we can proudly call Filipino. I therefore give my full support for granting Philippine citizenship to Mr. Justin Brownlee. At makukumpleto na po ang aming first five. Nandito na po si Majority Floor Leader and Senator Angara na lang ang kulang. First five na kami. Maraming salamat, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Senator Bongo. We recognize the arrival of our Majority Leader, Senator Joel.
Thank you,
Villanueva.
Mr. Chairman.
Your Honor, do you have any introductory statement? You have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I thought I'd have a 2-minute timeout before I do this, but thank you very much. Good morning, Mr. Chairman, to my dear colleagues, Senator Bato, Senator Bongo, who are all basketball enthusiasts and Barangay Ginebra fans. I think majority of the members of the Senate are all cheering for Ginebra, especially last night, uh, except Senator Tolentino, who is a fan of all the teams in the PBA. But kidding aside, today is such a special day. I'd like to uh, acknowledge first our good friend, Sir Reynold Barrios, and of course, Justin Brownlee, Mr. Antonio, and all the resource persons present here today. I actually filed this measure last Congress, Mr. Chairman. Unfortunately, we didn't get the uh, approval from the House of Representatives, our counterpart. But this representation, just to put on record, and the records will attest to this, we filed this measure last Congress, and we were very passionate then to approve this particular measure. But unfortunately, we didn't have the time. Mr. Chairman, I would just like to make a short opening statement. Justin Brownlee has long already been a kin for the One Ginebra Nation, the NSD Nation, the Never Say Die Nation. But certainly the Filipino nation clamors for more. Justin Brownlee has shown every Filipino why we do not need him just a basketball player who entertains. We need him because he can raise the Filipino flag higher. Mr. Chairman, as a former national athlete, and I know a lot of you will not believe me when I say I represented the country twice in international competition, this representation strongly and enthusiastically supports the naturalization of PBA import Justin Donta Brownlee. Let me cite some specific reasons, Mr. Chairman, why we need to grant Filipino citizenship to Justin Brownlee. First, Brownlee is not just here in the Philippines to play basketball. Since 2016, he has shown his love, respect, and admiration for the Filipino people, especially his fans. I remember the first game you played against, if I'm not mistaken, Alaska Aces, and you were not in condition. You were just asked to come here from Las Vegas without any rubber shoes. And I remember that day, Mr. Chairman, na nagka-cramps po siya, wala siya sa kondisyon, but he was doing everything he can to prove himself worthy of being Ginebra import. We found his Filipino heart and kindred spirit that resounded with millions of Filipinos when he joined Barangay Ginebra. He showed everyone that he is fully committed to getting his naturalization bid going by gathering all the documentary requirements. Despite his busy schedule, his busy life in court, Mr. Chairman, is not easy. I remember just last night, Mr. President, he played basketball. He was the best player last night, Mr. President, with 21 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists, and 3 blocks. Triple-double, Mr. Chairman. Parang ikaw, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Triple-double in the Senate. And that's actually his average, Mr. Chairman. But then, Mr. Chairman, during the celebration last night, and you scared the hell out of me of missing 2 free throws. By the way, Senator Bongo can teach you how to shoot free throws during clutch time. But still, Mr. Chairman, he was so busy preparing for today's hearing. And that means a lot, Mr. Chairman, no? Para ipakita sa atin yung kanyang commitment. Mr. Chairman, lastly, and most importantly, Justin Brownlee will reinforce the Gilas Pilipinas team when it goes against Lebanon and Jordan in the 6th and final window of the FIBA World Cup ASEAN qualifiers come February of 2023 at the Philippine Arena in my hometown in Bukawi, Bulacan. By the way, I heard from LA Tenor that you love our fireworks. Bukawi is my hometown and it's the fireworks capital of the country. So just in case. Time is of the essence here, Mr. Chairman. So for this reason, the committee referral of Senate Bill 1336 has become a figurative budgetary insertion because we did it during the plenary session for the 2023 budget last week. That's how doon gaano kagaling yung chairman natin and kakuntsaba yung majority leader. And the majority leader, of course, to tackling this measure on the floor as soon as committee report on this measure is final, according to the intentions of our chair, Senator Tolentino, the authors, Senator Bato de la Rosa, Senator Bongo, and of course, yung samahan ng basketball ng Pilipinas, yung chairman natin is the finance chair of the Senate who happens to also ask me na isingit during the budget deliberation yung referral nito. So Mr. Chairman, many say that Philippine population is already ballooning, more than 110 million, while this number is already high. Adding one more Filipino, Mr. Chairman, certainly does not hurt. The Filipino that is Brownlee will make a huge difference.
Best fan of basketball. Basketball is ingrained in our culture that it became the most popular sports in our country. We are extremely passionate about the game that Filipinos can put up basketball courts anywhere with open space and play anytime, even under the scorching heat of the sun. In fact, when I filed the Senate Bill number 1336 with your guidance, it was my fired up heart as a passionate basketball fan that made me pursue this bill. The bill which will grant Mr. Justin Brownlee a two-time PBA Best Import awardee, the Philippine citizenship, to enable him to represent the country in the upcoming international basketball competition. There's a saying, teamwork makes the dream work. The proposed measure is our contribution to the collective efforts to achieve our dream of regaining the top spot in the SEA Games and winning other international tournaments such as the FIBA World Cup, an alley-oop Congress style. Before we start the clock to discuss the citizenship bill of Justin Brownlee, I would like to take this opportunity to thank our committee chairperson, Senator Tolentino, one of the clutch legislators in the 19th Congress, for immediately conducting to this hearing. The approval of his team of this bill makes us one step closer from having our own dream team. This will surely stimulate every Filipino fan's enthusiastic spirit. And before I end, Mr. Chair, I would like to state for the record that I am a Ginebra fan forever. From the days of Toyota, when it was disbanded and Sonny Jaworski and Francis Arnaiz joined the Gilbis Gin, and Gilbis Gin was renamed to Añejo, to Ginebra. Then Ginebra was renamed to Añejo. Añejo Ram became Ginebra again. And the players like Mamaril, Dundon ng Palayo, Tuwadlis, very fresh to me. Lahat yung mga players, Rodi Distrito, mga idol ko yan, Rodi Distrito, Terry Saldania, sino ba yung partner ni Rodi Distrito, the Bicol, Gonzalo, Dante Gonzalgo, Dondon ang Palayo, Tuwadlis. They're my idols, Mr. Chair. And I am very proud to say that, for the record, that I really volunteer to author this measure, because not only that I would like our Gilas Pilipinas to win in the international arena, not only because Justin Brownlee comes from my very favorite PBA team, Ginebra, but because Justin Brownlee, I know, is that he is an athlete characterized by excellence and humility. He is a very good example to the Filipino people. Justin Brownlee is being loved by not only Filipino basketball fans, but kahit na hindi sila fans, pag nakita nila yung the demeanor of Justin Brownlee during PBA games, they will learn to love this kind of athlete, because because of his humility. And for that, Mr. Chair, I would like to thank you for giving me this opportunity.
And that and it appears in the birth certificate that you are a twin.
Apo, sir.
So there is another Brownlee as big as you.
It's a girl.
Is it a twin brother or a twin sister?
Sister.
She plays basketball.
She used to.
So it's the first time I recognize that there is a twin. So you were born at the Tift General Hospital in Georgia, and your parents are Ginebra Brownlee and I cannot read the signature here. Can you state the name of your father?
Stanley. Brown.
Stanley Brownlee. So do you affirm that this original birth certificate just handed to me came from you?
Apo, sir.
Salamat. Are there any comments, objections coming from the members of the committee? Opposition. I have here in my possession a copy of the original passport of Mr. Justin Brownlee, issued by the United States Department of State last March 7, 2019. Mr. Brownlee, is this your passport?
Apo, sir.
And how long have you been using this? To your recollection,
2019.
2019. Are there comments, opposition, remarks coming from our colleagues? Do we have any representative coming from the Philippine National Police, except the former chief of the Philippine National Police?
If there's none, Mr. Chair, I can vouch for him. I will represent the Philippine National Police.
And
Mr.
I
Chair,
will
thank you.
not question the integrity of the former Philippine National Police Chief, Mr. Chair.
But there is no signature here appearing, indicating the signature of the former chief of the Philippine National Police. Are there comments? Dapat pala na-imbat na yun. Affidavit of support coming from Commissioner Willie Marcial. Is he virtually present, Mr. Marcial? Are you there?
Where is he,
He-
Mr. Chairman?
He is not here, Mr. Chairman, but I think his good friend, Senator Bongo, can confirm.
So,
He was with me last night sa PBA.
So that's the reason why he's not here, Mr. Chairman.
Senator Bongo can confirm the affidavit of support,
From
Commissioner Marcial. So would that mean that Senator Bongo is also willing to support Justin Brownlee
hindi ko masagot yan kay Willie Marshall, pero as a senator, I'm willing, more than willing
to support?
to support.
So you're in good hands, Mr. Brownlee. We'd like to acknowledge the presence of Senator Sani Angara, who filed also a bill, but we have acknowledged the said bill, but it will be referred in today's plenary. Your Honor, if you have an introductory statement, you have the floor before we
Thank you.
proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to thank you for acting very expeditiously and quickly, swiftly on these bills, which, as we know, has passed the House Committee on Justice, naturalizing Justin Brownlee. I'd like to greet my colleagues present, the Majority Leader, Senator Bato, Senator Bongo, who are all huge basketball fans and were instrumental in the last naturalization bill, which we passed for Gilas, which is the naturalization of Ange Kwame, chaired by then Senator Richard Gordon. And some of our colleagues, I'd like to acknowledge their role also in naturalizing Andre Blatch. These are Senator Coco Pimentel, Senator Alan Peter Cayetano, Senator, among others, no? So thank you, gentlemen. I just want to lend my support to the bills already discussed and filed by our colleagues. Pag nasa lounge ho kami, ang bukang bibig po talaga nila paano matutulungan po yung basketball program ng Pilipinas. So thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you to the Majority Leader, who is a huge supporter of Philippine basketball. Senator Bato de la Rosa, Senator Bongo, who in his capacity as Chair of the Committee on Sports and Vice Chair of the Committee on Finance, is finding ways and means to help the hosting of the Philippines of the Philippine World Cup, and we're all together here, especially ang ating Majority Leader at ang ating Senate President. Salamat po, Mr. Chair. Mabuhay po kayo.
May was Mr. Brownlee. You you had a physical checkup last when was this? If you can recall.
Uh, uh, not sure when the
Yes,
exact
but
date, but maybe within the last 2 months or so.
so the document, this medical certificate would appear that you underwent a musculoskeletal injuries. What is that? Uh,
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
there is a sports rehabilitation unit stating that uh,
Okay.
there was a musculoskeletal injuries history. What is your physical state right now, Mr. Brownlee? Are you undergoing any rehabilitation physically, or are you physically fit?
I'm healthy, physically fit. I think it was just a checkup, just everything,
A
just a
regular
checkup,
checkup.
regular checkup. Yeah.
So are there comments, opinions, oppositions coming from our colleagues here as to the athlete pre-participation physicals chart of Mr. Brownlee? Hearing none, the said document is submitted. So we
Thank you, Mr.
expect
Chair.
to receive your report within this week. Can you do that?
Uh, First, Mr. Chair, we will advise the urgency with the Office of the Secretary, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Attorney Suarez. From the
Thank you,
Department
Mr.
of
Chair.
Foreign Affairs, do we have any representative from DFA virtually?
Good morning, Mr. Chair and honorable members of the committee. This is Assistant Director Juan Ryan Pangwi of the Office of Consular Affairs, Department of Foreign
Can you,
Affairs.
yes, see you now. Go ahead, go ahead.
As of Mr. Brownlee, we would like to manifest that he has no derogatory records in both our passport and visa record system. So the Department of Foreign Affairs would like to manifest that we have no opposition to the granting of Philippine citizenship via legislation to Mr. Justin Donta Brownlee. We have a certification ready dated this day, actually. But we would like to manifest that we have given also a similar certification at the House last week. We would submit this new certification through our liaison office today, sir.
And what would be the contents of your latest certification, DFA? Place
This is
that on
for
the record.
Yes, sir. This is our certification this is our passport certification, by the way. Certification, this is to certify the Office of Consular Affairs Watch List Database Unit. Records show no derogatory record information against name Justin Donta Brownlee, date and place of birth, 23 April 1988, United States. Issued on Parañaque City, 21 November 2022, noted by Winston Dean S. Almeida, Passport Director. As of our visa system certification, this is to certify that the Office of Consular Affairs Watch List Database Unit records show no derogatory record against Justin Donta Brownlee, born on 23 April 1988 of the United States of America, signed by our OIC Director for visa.
Thank you, DFA. The chair would like to know, when will DFA go on a Christmas break?
Sir, as sa passport po yan or sa kwan? Sa passport yan o sa kwan po?
Yung inyong kagawaran, kailan po magbabakasyon Pasko, magsasara, hindi mag-i-issue ng passport, ngayong Kapaskuhan?
Kwan po sir, ang passports po natin, open po tayo basta working day po, open po ang DFA.
Sumusunod kayo sa national holiday. Ang tanong ko po ganito, at tanong din po na marami. Kung sakali pong maaprubahan itong pag na-naturalize kay Mr. Justin Brownlee, mag-a-apply po siya ng Filipino passport. Gano'ng
Yes,
katagal ba ho na-issue yung passport? Kasi yung ordinaryong Pilipino, pipila po sa mga mall, pipila kung saan-saan. Eh dito po kay Mr. Justin Brownlee, hindi naman natin ginagawang exception, maging special treatment. In normal times, gano'ng katagal ba ang pag-issue ng passport?
Dito po sa Metro Manila, 7 work days lang po ang release po natin. 7 work days.
7 working days. So halimbawa po
Yes, sir.
ngayon Disyembre, ma-approve ito, by January, meron na pong passport Filipino passport si Mr. Justin Brownlee.
Yes, sir. As long as masabit, ang importante po dito, ang requirement po natin na kukunin ay of course yung legislation, copy ng legislation, yung IC certificate. Dadaan pa to kasi sa
Mr. Chairman, I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman, sorry,
immigration.
Mr. Chairman.
Majority Leader is
Mr.
recognized.
Chairman, when you were asked by Chairman Tolentino how long it would take, you said 7 days, 1 week. Now, the chair was so lenient to say 1 month. Kung mapasa ng December, by January, mabibigyan nyo. The answer is yes or no lang, Mr. Chairman. So,
Yes, sir.
thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yung sinabi niyo po, yun na po yung post-approval. Ipapublish po ito sa mga periodiko. So,
Yes,
may
sir.
notice kayo nun. So, you'll be notified that there is already a law granting citizenship, if any. So, siguro take note of that.
Yes, sir.
At
We'll take
ganun
note,
din
sir.
siguro sa mga ordinaryong mamamayan natin, yung mga OFW na humihingi ng passport, siguro padaliin na rin natin. Wag lang hindi po tayo dapat magkaroon ng special treatment, lalong-lalo na yung mag-a-abroad, magtatrabaho. Kaya tinatanong ko sa iyo kanina kung kailan ang bakasyon nyo at gano'ng katagal yung bakasyon nyo, Mr. DFA.
Yes, sir. Yung usual po na po natin, na government days po natin, sinusunod po natin yan.
So nagmamadali kayo ngayon, kailangan matulungan natin ang mga kababayan natin. Yun lang po. Maraming salamat sa DFA. Unless may tanong po yung mga kasamahan ko ditong iba sa passporting. Po, so DFA, we dispense with your presence here. Can we have the who else has yet to be recognized? Sino pa ba ang hindi natin natawag sa mga resource persons? Solicitor General, DFA, BID, those physically present here. May we ask, the Samahang Basketballista ng Pilipinas, the legal counsel first, and then the Samahang Basketballista ng Pilipinas. Ito po yung tanong. Ano po ang mangyayari pag naging Pilipino na si Mr. Brownlee? Aangat ba ho ang standard ng ating basketball? Magkakaroon ba ho tayo ng magandang competition sa FIBA World Cup? Nabanggit po kanina dito yung ni Senator Bato na napakaganda ang napamarisan ang ugali ni Mr. Brownlee, lalong-lalo na mga kabataang Pilipino. At alam naman po natin na nakaraan 2 linggo, merong isang basketball player na hindi dapat pamarisan, nanuntok sa isang basketball game. Pero si Mr. Brownlee, napakabait po niya. So, Samahang Basketballista ng Pilipinas, we start with Mr. Barrios first, and then Attorney Francisco, and then Mr. Antonio lastly. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, we thank the committee and the honorable senators who are sponsoring the citizenship of Justin Brownlee. Sinisiguro po namin na makabubuti po siya sa ating national team. At ikinararangal po namin na i-propose ho siya for naturalization because yung nasabi ho ni Senator Bato, yung kanya hong karakter, talagang kapuri-puri po. No, kahit ho sa PBA, hindi ko na lang babanggitin yung pangalan, yung mga kilalang mga so-called enforcer, ang sabi hindi namin masaktan si Brownlee kasi napakabait, hindi namin kayang konsensyahin. Ganun ho yung kanyang reputation, no? At sa Gilas po, kahit po walang kasiguruhan kung ma-approve, hindi ma-approve, noong pang umpisa, nagsabi siya sa kanyang Ginebra coach Tim Cone, nung isinama ho si Tim Cone sa coaching staff ng Gilas. Sinabi niya, Coach, I want to practice with the boys so I can help them prepare for international play. Kasi naintindihan ho niya, pag ang ensayo kasama yung katulad niyang malaki at pang-international, mas mahahanda ho yung mga locals natin. So, ganun hong katino ito, ika nga. Kaya marami pong salamat.
We will reserve the last question to Mr. Brownlee. My dear colleagues, may tanong po kayo kay Mr. Barrios, Mr. Attorney Francisco, and Mr. Antonio.
Just some technical clarifications to the PBA, Mr. Chair. Once Mr. Justin Brownlee becomes a naturalized Filipino citizen, what would be the treatment to him by the PBA? Can he be considered a local player or an import still? Because I am a Ginebra fan. I would like him to play as a local if it is allowed by the PBA rules. What's the opinion of our resource person, sir?
Hindi na ho ako PBA, no? Nag-retire ako as PBA commissioner more than 10 years ago. Pero ang pagkakaalam ko po, Senator, parang katulad ni Andre Blatch, nung na-naturalize siya, ang sabi ho ng PBA, magiging unfair naman sa ibang team kung ikla-classify si Andre na local. Malamang ho, ganun din ho kay Justin.
With
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
the permission of Senator Bato. Siguro ang gusto po ni Senator De La Rosa, baka magkaroon po ng age bracket. Halimbawa po, umidad si Marcos Douthit na 40, nag-40 rin si 37 si Andre Blanch. Baka yung age na yun, pwede na sila maglaro bilang Pilipino, local sa PBA. Siguro yun ang gusto. Kasi Pilipino ka na eh. Pag Pilipino ka na, may karapatan ka na Pilipino. Di ba ho?
Opo, I'm sure nakikinig ho sila Commissioner Willie at si Senator Bongo, malapit ho yan sa PBA. Mapaparating ho yung isyung yan sa kanila po.
Salamat, Senator Bongo. Ang tanong po kanina kung pwede maglaro as local. Ang suggestion ko, pag umidad na siguro ng kaunti, baka pwede nang isabak.
Pag local si Brownlee, di lamang na. Paano mo babantayan to? Si Bato lang makaka-check dito.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, considering that UNTV network is covering this proceeding, and today they will open UNTV Cup. Tonight there will be an opening of the tournament, Mr. Chairman. May we know if we can also get and tap Brownlee to play for the Senate Defenders?
Are you willing to play for us, Mr. Justin Brownlee?
Opo.
UNTV,
Lamang na tayo.
UNTV, good luck.
May we address the next question to... But before that, we'd like to get the statement coming from the Office of the Solicitor General. I'm sorry we skipped you.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. On the part of the OSG, Mr.
Can you
Chair,
identify yourself?
I'm State Solicitor Romeo Ocfemia Caboteja Jr., Mr. Chair. On the part of the OSG, we interpose no objection on the naturalization of Mr. Brownlee, and we will be issuing a certification similar to the one we issued to the House of Representatives during the last hearing, Mr. Chair. To that effect, Your Honors.
And the contents of your certification issued to the lower house?
The certification reads that the Special Committee on Naturalization does not have any record of a person by the name of Justin Donta Brownlee, that such person filed a petition for naturalization or had been conferred Philippine citizenship by administrative naturalization, Your Honors.
Thank you, State Solicitor Caboteja, for your statement. May we ask, Attorney, ano po yung naririnig natin na magkakaroon daw po ng pool of naturalized players ang Samahang Basketballista ng Pilipinas? So this is aside from, we now have 4. We now have 5. So we have Mr. Kwame, Douthit, Blanch, Clarkson, and going 5 for Mr. Brownlee. What will be that trend? Are we expanding the pool or are we delimiting the pool o paano na yan?
Kung kailangan po natin, kasi po ang ano ngayon, ang FIBA, I'm speaking as a because I'm chairman of FIBA Legal Commission. Iba na po ang competition ngayon. Dati, isang lugar lang, qualifiers. Ngayon, home and away. So, minsan, like yung PBA ngayon, hindi natin makuha si NBA kasi may game si Clarkson. So, we need a pool of players, hindi lang naturalized, kundi even the locals. Kaya marami ho tayong dapat players na capable of winning games for us. And I'm sure, nakita po naman natin at tumataba po ang puso namin sa SBP dahil sa nakita naming magandang reaction ng Senate at saka ng Congress, na lower house, na full support kay Brownlee. And nakita naman po natin siya maglaro. Dadalhin po niya yan sigurado sa Gilas. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Attorney. Are there questions for Attorney Francisco?
Mr. Chairman, just a simple additional manifestation. Nakalimutan ko itong bagitin kanina. I'd like to address this to Mr. Justin Brownlee. Once he becomes a Filipino citizen, I just would like to make a personal appeal to him, since he's being looked up to by the Filipino people, especially the youth. He's being idolized by a lot of Filipino people. Can I ask him to help me advocate for our anti-drug program, because he will be a really very good example to the Filipino youth. Please help us advocate our anti-drug program, because that's very important. You will be that will become one of your moral obligations once you become a Filipino, to help the Filipino youth become good Filipino citizens. You will be our role model. Thank you, Mr. Brownlee.
And your answer, Mr. Brownlee?
Opo, for sure.
The answer is opo.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Maraming salamat, Justin. Thank you.
Thank you.
We now address the questions to Mr. Severino Butch Antonio. Siguro pare-pareho na lahat ito. How far are we now progressing insofar as our preparations for FIBA World Cup 2023 is concerned?
Sir, magandang hapon, magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Well, thank you very much for this opportunity to speak, and also for the support that you're giving the Samahang Basketball ng Pilipinas in the naturalization of process of Justin. No? As far as the preparation for the World Cup is concerned, regarding Gilas po in particular, what I can say is the coaching staff has been, ngayon sinasabi ni Attorney Aga, the coaching staff has been very busy trying to get a pool of players together. Ito po ay both local players and naturalized players. No? As I said, as you said, Senator, we have 5, but in reality, ang magiging available dyan, right now, we have 2, which are Kwame and Clarkson, and then hopefully, with your support and your help, we will have Justin as the third naturalized player. And next year po will be a busy year. No, we have the final window in February, window 6 po, window 6, and then it will be in Manila. It will be played po in Bukawi po. Back to back po yun. We will have Lebanon and Jordan coming over, and we will be hosting them. And then sa May po, we will have the Southeast Asian Games, where we have a mission to reclaim the lost gold. And again po, tinitignan po natin na si Justin will be an integral part of that quintet, no? And then after that po, magpe-prepare na po tayo for the World Cup. The coaching staff has plans of having camps here in Europe and in the US, kung saan po magkakaroon ng possible camps, no? And then after the World Cup po in late August, early September, we have naman po the Asian Games in China in September, immediately right after the World Cup. So after that po, magkakaroon naman ng Asia Cup qualifier windows in November. That's the plan po ng FIBA to start that, no? So we will have a very, very hectic, this is just for the elite team, no? Men's team natin. And having Justin here, the preparation is very much in place. Quietly lang po tayo. We have been doing our regular once a week practices. Huminto lang tayo right after itong huling window. But quietly, the team has been doing it. And people will probably say na baka once a week, anong nakukuha nyo, anong nakukuha ng team. But nakita naman po sa performance natin itong huling window that ang ginagawa po ng team, we grab every opportunity we get to practice po. Si Justin, sinabi po ni Executive Director Sunny Barrios, was even po if he did not have, hindi ho siya makakalaro for that window, for the last window, he still insisted on practicing with us. And he was instrumental. Siya po he was part of the scouting team. He was playing the star player of our opponent, of Jordan, and you're playing Tucker, right? Tucker's position. So that yung preparation. So hindi naman basta-bastang scouting team lang. And Justin was very integral in the preparation. So yun lang po. I think preparation is going well and could be better if Justin gets on board, because it'll definitely be a plus sa atin, sa ating pag-prepare ng team to play for the World Cup and all the other competitions next year and beyond.
Thank you, Mr. Antonio.
Thank you, sir.
For the information of this body, we have a Canadian swimmer who won the gold in the Tokyo Olympics, and another, a silver and a bronze in the Tokyo Olympics, who would want to become a Filipina likewise and carry the Philippine flag during the Paris Olympics. So this is a reverse. She's now a Canadian, but she wanted to become a Filipina athlete. We now focus some questions to Mr. Justin Brownlee. With the permission of my colleagues, can I throw the first three punches or questions? Punches. Because I thought this is boxing. Mr. Antonio is very adept in boxing history and narratives. Mr. Brownlee, you've been in the Philippines for several years. Any favorite Filipino food?
Chicken adobo, Chair.
Chicken adobo.
Adobo.
Chicken adobo. Nagugutom na tuloy kami dito. Magtatanghalian na. You've been around any favorite place here aside from your usual tourism place?
Been to a few places, Batangas, Boracay. Tagaytay, yeah. I like Tagaytay. Nice and cool there. So Tagaytay was very nice.
You willing to play for Tagaytay? Will be the champion in Cavite. That's just a jest. So, is there any reason aside from just playing basketball that made you decide to become a Filipino? Is there any particular trait of Filipinos that endeared them to your heart? And I know you only have one heart. Is there any characteristic of the Pinoys, of the Filipinos, not just what you saw in Metro Manila, that probably made you decide that this country, this pearl of the Pacific, is the right place for me?
It's just really just how the people get along and how everyone treats one another. Just being in the U.S., it's a lot of hate. It's a lot of diversity and stuff like that. And I just always seen how people, less fortunate, and they just happy and they just get along and everybody know how to treat, each other. I know it's a very busy city, so just people, paying attention and just being mindful. Everybody is not in a great situation, but just making the best out of every situation you in. And I took note of that, and I take things like that to the heart because I try to be a humble person. Of course, sometimes it may not be easy because you want to show what you can do and be proud of it, which you should be. But I try to have some humility, and I think the Filipino culture, they definitely have humility and a lot of pride, which I really like, and I like to see it.
Thank you. One last, I have one last question before I let my colleagues ask you some questions. Once you become a Filipino citizen, you'll be required by the Department of Justice and other government offices to familiarize yourself with some Filipino laws. Probably you might be required to read the Philippine Constitution or even some ordinary laws passed by the Congress. I would like to place attention to a particular provision in the Philippine Constitution which states this. And I'd like to ask your question. This is Article 2, Section 4 of the Constitution. But before I ask that, can I ask you one personal question? Have you served under the uniformed services of the United States? Army, Air Force, Navy, Coast Guard, National Guard?
No, sir.
So no military training or participation in any exercise in the United States Armed Forces. You know particularly well that we're visited by 20 or more typhoons every year. You've seen that while you're here. The last big one was Paeng. Under Article 2, Section 4 of our Constitution, and I quote, "The prime duty of government is to serve and protect the people. The government may call upon the people to defend the state, and in the fulfillment thereof, all citizens may be required under conditions provided by law to render personal, military, or civil service." Are you willing to do that? Are you willing to defend the Philippines? Are you willing to participate in any disaster, calamity, rescue operations during typhoon season?
Apo.
Your answer is opo.
Apo.
So that means you're willing to join the Philippine Army Reserve Force.
Apo.
Thank you, Mr. Brownlee. I have no further questions.
Mr.
Unless
Chairman?
my other colleagues will ask questions.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. In relation to your question, Mr. Chairman, uh, Mr. Brownlee was born and raised in the state of Georgia. And for his information, that's where I got I took my U.S. Ranger course in Fort Benning, Georgia, U.S. Army Infantry School. That's your place.
Yeah.
So, a very big military base, Fort Benning, Georgia. So if you don't get your military background in your state of Georgia, I got mine there.
Okay.
So just for your information.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Salamat.
Thank you, Senator Bato de la Rosa. Senator Villanueva is
Yes,
recognized.
yes, Mr. Chairman. Thank you. Just like to ask some questions. Don't worry, Mr. Brownlee, although Aljun Mariano and L.A. Tenorio told me that you're practicing Lupang Hinirang, I will not ask you to sing today. I would just like to put on record, Mr. Chairman, the importance of what Mr. Barrios and Mr. Antonio shared with us. And it's such a heartwarming story to hear from the nominee, Mr. Chairman, that he is more than willing to train with our boys, with our Gilas boys, because of his international experience. He's been going around the world playing international basketball. And let me also put on record that I saw him twice or thrice representing our country, yung Alab Pilipinas, Mr. Chairman, where he actually wore a Philippine flag on his jersey. So I'd just like to ask you, Mr. Brownlee, what's it like to wear a Philippine jersey, a Philippine flag in your jersey representing our country, and what does it mean for you to become a true-blooded Filipino citizen and wearing this jersey representing the country in international games?
It means tremendously a lot, coming here in 2016 and just, I mean, right off the bat, just received so much love and, you know, admiration from the fans. It was really, I couldn't believe it. It was overwhelming. And just wearing that flag, it seems like it allows me to give back to the people, the fans. And that's something I want to, just try to do, whether it can be inspiration or motivation or, winning games or practicing with the team, whatever I want to, whatever it is, I just want to, all the love that I receive, I just want to give it back. And, you know, wearing that flag on my jersey, hopefully I can, just give some of that love back and, and motivation and inspiration.
I made mention a while ago about your first game experience here in the Philippines. When you came in, you were not in condition, you weren't supposed to play. Imagine, Mr. Chairman, he was like the fourth or fifth choice for Ginebra import when Paul Harris had this injury and he was in Vegas. I don't know what you're doing in Vegas, and when you got that call, you flew right away to the Philippines. And I remember seeing you, Mr. Brownlee, playing your heart out despite your body condition, and I can see your tenacity and passion to really prove yourself. And I heard it wasn't easy because Coach Tim Con would not give up on you, would ask you to put more hours to train, etc. It would have been easy for you to give up and say, I'm just going back to the United States of America, but you stayed. So what fuels you uh, uh, in uh, in proving yourself as a worthy import, and what fuels you now to prove yourself that you are a worthy Filipino citizen?
Um, before I before I got the call when I was in Vegas, I was a little bit down.
And is it true you didn't have any rubber shoes when you came in?
Yeah, it was yes, sir. Yeah, yeah. So in Vegas, I was a little bit down. Of course, just like a lot of athletes or basketball players around the world, they want to make it to the highest level. And at that time, I was pursuing the NBA, and I was actually in Vegas trying to maybe get on a team. They have the summer league there every year, so just trying to get on a team, just talking to a few people. But Cheryl, my agent, um, that passed away a few years ago, she called me and wanted me to come to the Philippines and play. And at first, I was a little skeptical at coming because I didn't know what my future held. And when I first got here, just hearing all the fans, I was wearing my practice jersey, the Ginebra jersey. Yeah, just talking about NSD, Never Say Die, and they love the team. I didn't even know how to pronounce the name. I was calling it Ginebra because it's with a G, but um, yeah, so I gotta admit the fans, they fueled a lot in me, and also my teammates, but just coming from, humble beginnings and wanting more and just always trying to grow and get better. And my teammates, they gave me all the confidence in the world. Coach Tim, every day, he would be on me, of course, because he spoke highly of me before I came, but I wasn't in the best shape, so I couldn't prove, at first what he was saying, but I just wanted to prove, that I can play here, that I can be here, and hopefully, if I keep working, I can be great. So that's really it. You know, just wanting to strive for greatness.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I'd just like to say this once again. You are an inspiration to a lot of Filipinos, and they say uh, uh, it's a big responsibility to put a Ginebra jersey, but it's a bigger responsibility to put the Philippines uniform playing for the country and our people. So thank you, and I hope to see you again as we approve this measure soon. And I'd like to put on record again, Mr. Chairman, with the help of the Senate, we were able to put in additional 200 million peso budget for the Philippine Sports Commission, thanks to Senator Bato. Senator Bongo is the chairperson of the Sports Committee of the Senate. And so we are here to support you, the Samahan ng Basketball ng Pilipinas, and of course, Mr. Justin Brownlee. So go Ginebra. Thank you.
Because Majority Leader, Senator Bongo.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have some questions. Who among us can shoot 3 points? As far as you know. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. If I was to guess, I would have to go with Senator Bungo.
Aside from me.
Oh, aside from you,
Yeah.
can we have a contest, a shooting contest to see?
How about Senator Bato? What position does he play?
I can see power forward.
His idol is Rudy Distrito. He's our enforcer.
Okay.
Senator Joel, our court general.
Point guard.
Aside from in the basketball court, also here in the Senate. And of course, our team captain, Tol, our chairman.
Okay. Shooter. Okay.
Who is your idol in the NBA?
Rest in peace, Kobe. But right now, maybe Ja Morant. He's pretty good right now. Luka, Giannis, a couple guys.
Thank you, Mr. Brownlee.
Thank you.
You have our full support.
Thank you. Salamat po.
Thank you, Senator Bongo. What about Senator Angara? Do you have further questions to be addressed to Mr. Brownlee? Senator Angara or other senators virtually?
Wala na po, Mr. Chairman. Full support. He's a great guy. He's shown us he's a great personality, and his skill speaks for itself. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
So if there are no other questions coming from our colleagues, the consideration of Senate Bill 1336, introduced by Senator De La Rosa with reference to the bill to be referred, filed by Senator Sani Angara, Senate Bill 1516, co-authored by Senator Joel Villanueva.
2048.
Senate Bill 2048, filed by Senator Villanueva. The consideration of the same at the committee level is hereby terminated, and without objections coming from our colleagues, this hearing of the Senate Committee on Justice and Human Rights is hereby adjourned.